Hello, and welcome to the War in the Pacific. Where's the 6th of April, 1942, in the Wirraway versus Encircled survival campaign. Those automatic base flipping uh, in the illusions are good. I was wondering if we had troops that far into illusions that I hadn't spotted, but no, apparently not. I-162 wants to make sure it finishes the job on the Baron Cowder. And he also goes after the Kandala. It's a twofer for that submarine captain. Warning of damage control problems on Hakuro, though her system damage is only about 50, so she's not on fire. As long as she doesn't run into another submarine, she should be fine. And we have an AR in the area. ASW task force after our subs operating near Kodiak. Remit near Chikuka. Hopefully, Hermit got a 250-kilogram bomb as payment for her insolence. Not sure why the Oscars were on up there. Probably had them on long range cap and they diverted when they saw the sweeps coming in. th 20th Indian Division and an armored brigade. course, you could always rail it more. As you might expect, 3/4. Hostages get a little payback after the bombers come in without escorts. Sallies begin disrupting the base forces at Samarinda for the wrap up of the Borneo campaign. And another warning on Aguro. Not sure. Remember what happened to Imzu. is up for bombardment. Okay, let's speed through the end of the turn. Start off taking a look. Some pretty heavy air-to-air losses for us, so they'll be mostly Oscars. Yeah, did get a couple B-17s, it looks like, which is nice. I am intrigued what happened. I don't remember Inzumaru getting hit with a 250-pound sample. Was that? And that was at Rabal. Okay, let's check in on Haguro. He's only making 10 knots now. I think she's okay though. Not sure why she was set full speed. She wasn't. Maybe she was. I usually do cruise speed when she's damaged. I think I sprinted her as fast as she could go out of the cluster of submarines in this area and linked her up with some more escorts. This game is so complex. It's, I can't remember all the details of any individual move sometime. Let's take a look at what happened to our Oscars here in India. So the first Sentai ended up losing. Yeah, so they were on long range cap is what happened. Uh, they just got diverted. The veteran 11th Sentai suffered relatively little losses. Well, the less experienced first Sentai, at least in its configuration, suffered higher losses, and the veteran 24th Sentai still lost 3 veteran pilots. Hard to say whether they were uh, particularly good ones or not. Bottom line, though, is an excellent Oscar pipeline. Uh, Currently 125 in the pool alone, and plenty of trained pilots and more in the pipeline. So, can lose Oscars all day long for the next year or so. It's they're much easier. Those well, in terms of pilots, much easier in terms of pilot to replace than the zeros are. And in a player defined upgrades game off like this one, I'll be building Oscars for a long time. Okay, let's see how we're doing as far as supplies in China. It's like decent shape. Sorry, I'm going to flip back to India just to check on the 5th Division. Almost out of the hex. I think what's going on here is he thinks with the bulk of the army here, maybe there's an opportunity to press down uh, and perhaps capture their withdrawal path. I have equivalent of 2 divisions available. The Imperial Guards and part of the 38. So, so I have enough reserves. We'll have to watch this. See, this is a bit. I'm sure I clear this rail line and keep it clear so I can redeploy my units and get back in time. Talked about China. It's got I think this is a headquarters or base force that moved into the hex. It's like these guys are out of sync here. I'm not sure why they're in move mode either. So don't I, I control the hex sides I need so I can throw these guys out and continue the march on Quellen, which right now it looks like the artillery and headquarters are leading. Interesting. Okay. Bringing in reinforcements. These are the home island, inexperienced home island divisions. Uh, we talked about leading the fight over the coming weeks and months for Clark to get combat experience. And as soon as these units are reasonably recovered, we'll wrap up the Borneo campaign by taking Samarinda amphibiously. We touched on the South Pacific. Okay. Well, let's just check in. See how our R&D is going. So we'll upgrade the A6M3s to A6M3As. while the A6 M5s are continuing to advance. The SAMs, of course, get a lot of attention. Grace, Judy, Night Fighting Irving, the Oscars, because it said to be building Oscars for a long time in a PD off game. Well, whole game. Night Fighting Knicks, Helen's to free up a couple more bomber units for the conversion. But the real prize, of course, is the Peggy, and then a lot of effort in the Frank and George. Currently see what we're building. Only shut off one of the 0 factories for the moment. Building some Helen 1As. Those will, of course, be allowed to upgrade to the 2A. Uh, but I need to um, grade a couple Sentais to the 1A before they can go to the 2A. Oh, good. I'm gonna probably have to build more Upsies to support my South Pacific operations. They're going to involve because I don't have any, wasn't able to land any supply effectively at Sabai. I'm going to have to lean on air resupply and try to get other supply in there as much as possible. So that's a coming challenge. Anyway, that's it for the 6th of April turn, and I look forward to our next chance.